Vampires, creatures of the night, they evoke fear and fascination. Stories of these immortal beings have captivated us for centuries. But where did these tales originate? Why do they endure? From ancient folklore to modern cinema, vampires continue to hold a prominent place in our collective imagination. Their image has evolved over time. Yet, the core elements remain: a thirst for blood, supernatural powers, and an undead existence. These elements tap into our deepest fears and desires. They speak to our mortality, our vulnerability, and our fascination with the unknown. The vampire myth, in its many forms, offers a glimpse into the darker side of human nature. But are vampires real? Or are they simply figments of our imaginations? Let's explore the history, mythology, and science behind these enigmatic creatures. Belief in vampires or vampire-like creatures predates written history. Tales of demonic beings feeding on the living appear in cultures around the world. These stories often arose from a lack of scientific understanding about death and decomposition. In ancient Mesopotamia, for example, the ekimmu was a restless spirit that could return from the underworld to prey on the living. Similarly, ancient Egyptian mythology featured the aku, a malevolent spirit that could harm the living. European folklore is particularly rich with vampire lore. Tales of these creatures spread throughout the continent during the Middle Ages. These stories often reflected the fear of disease and plagues that ravaged communities. One of the most famous vampires, Vlad the Impaler, was a real historical figure. He was a 15th century Romanian prince known for his cruelty. His reputation for impaling his enemies on stakes inspired the name Dracula. Vampires are often depicted with a distinctive set of traits and abilities. These characteristics vary depending on cultural interpretations. However, some common themes emerge. Blood drinking is perhaps the most iconic vampire trait. This thirst for blood, often seen as a curse, is what grants vampires their immortality. It also links them to themes of life force and vitality. Superhuman strength, speed, and senses are also frequently attributed to vampires. These abilities make them formidable predators. They enhance their mystique as creatures that transcend human limitations. Shape-shifting is another common vampire power. The ability to transform into bats, wolves, or mist allows vampires to move undetected and adds to their air of mystery. Other powers often attributed to vampires include hypnotism, control over animals, and the ability to command the weather. These powers further blur the line between the natural and supernatural. They highlight the fear and awe these creatures inspire. Section 4. The Science of Vampirism, Separating Fact from Fiction. While vampire lore is fascinating, it's important to separate myth from scientific reality. Many purported vampire traits can be explained through natural phenomena or medical conditions. For example, the decomposition process can cause a corpse to bloat. This bloating can push blood up the throat, leading to the appearance of a freshly fed vampire. Similarly, a lack of understanding about blood circulation and rigor mortis likely contributed to early beliefs in vampirism. Porphyria, a rare blood disorder, has also been linked to vampire myths. This condition can cause extreme sensitivity to sunlight, skin lesions, and teeth deformities. These symptoms align with some descriptions of vampires. However, there is no scientific evidence to support the existence of supernatural beings like vampires. The human body simply cannot function without a beating heart or oxygen. The idea of an undead creature that sustains itself on blood remains firmly in the realm of fiction. Section 5. Modern vampires from Dracula to Twilight and beyond. Despite the lack of scientific evidence, vampires continue to captivate our imaginations. They have become a staple of popular culture, appearing in countless books, movies, TV shows, and video games. Bram Stoker's 1897 novel is arguably the most influential vampire story ever told. It established many of the tropes associated with vampires today, including their aversion to sunlight, garlic, and crucifixes. From classic horror films to modern interpretations the portrayal of vampires has evolved over time. They have transformed from monstrous villains to complex, even sympathetic characters. Modern vampire stories often explore themes of love, loss, identity, and the struggle for acceptance. They reflect our changing societal values and anxieties. The enduring popularity of vampires in media suggests that these creatures continue to resonate with us on a deeper level. Section 6. Conclusion. The enduring allure of the vampire myth. So, are vampires real? From a scientific standpoint, the answer is a resounding no. There is no evidence to support the existence of immortal beings who feed on human blood. However, the vampire myth endures. It taps into our primal fears, our fascination with the unknown, and our desire to transcend the limitations of mortality. Vampires serve as a reminder of our own vulnerability and the fragility of life. While we may never encounter a real vampire lurking in the shadows, their stories will continue to fascinate us. They offer a glimpse into the darker recesses of the human psyche. They remind us that even in the age of science and reason, there is still room for mystery and wonder. The vampire myth, in all its iterations, is a testament to the power of storytelling. It is a reminder that some stories transcend time and culture, captivating generations with their enduring allure.